Tommy Burns makes his 5th defence of the World Heavyweight title against British-born Gunnar Moya. London, 2nd of December, 1907.
So, final words of advice for Tommy Burns, the World Heavyweight Champion, in the corner nearest to us, defending the title he won in 1906. Jack Johnson wants to challenge him for this crown. It's maybe going to happen Sunday, but in the meantime, Burns is trying to get in as many defences as he possibly can, and here he faces James Gunnar Moya. Moya from Lambeth, only in his 16th professional fight, and on paper this looks like an easy one for Tommy Burns, the Canadian. Moya, though, bravely going forward. He's on the left hand side of your picture now, with the white band around his trunks. Burns, the shorter man, only stands 5'7", very small indeed for a heavyweight. To some extent, Burns' career overshadowed perhaps by the man he followed, gentleman Jim Jeffries. Moya working behind that left jab. Former Royal Marine from the Artillery Division and a former professional wrestler. Only had his first pro fight at the age of 24, Moya. Burns already clearly fancying the job. Trying to go to work to the body, the champion, as Moya holds on. Burns, the real powerful, stocky physique, broad shoulders, and great power in his legs. And they always say with a fighter that the timing and the punch power comes from the legs, and Burns tremendously strong. Well, it's been a quiet opening round. Oh, good right hand from Burns, right into the body, followed up with a right hook. And Moya has felt the power of the champion, and Burns getting through again with a solid left jab which rocked back Moya's head. And a big smile from Tommy Burns for his cornermen. He knows he's got the power after that opening round. 26 years old, and senses he might be having another successful defence already. And so into the second, and Burns will have taken big confidence and a lot of heart from that right hand which he thudded into the ribcage, and then the right hook over the top. And Moya certainly didn't like it when he felt that leather pounding into his body. Moya really telegraphed that right hand over the top. And Burns happy just to try and tie him up inside. Burns again, you can see, looking to unload that big right hand. Moya, a wild left, was way off target. And Burns manages to tie him up so easily. Referee, of course, at the National Sporting Club, officiating from his place outside the ring. Holding from Moya, got him a ticking off. He's holding Burns behind the head, and again. And Burns won't like that. There were punches round the back of the head. And again holding round the back of the head from Moya, and that's outside the rules. Good right hand though from the British fighter. But again, he's holding on all the time round the back of the head, and there are people in the audience who are standing up and protesting, and rightly so. And there's the referee. He's saying to Moya, let's have this fight fought in the correct manner. That was for holding on with the left hand round the back of Burns' head, and now Burns is starting to tee off. Again, Moya going in with that left hand around the back of the head of the champion, and he's getting away with it, and really this is outside the rules. Moya trying to get Burns out of his stride, and again he's holding on there, the left hand round the back of the head. And once again, crude tactics from Moya, and fairly obviously a breach of the rules. Well, he gets away with it, and the second round ends, but really Burns is in complete control. Third round. Nice right uppercut from Moya, who's on the far side of the ring with the wide white band around the top of his trunks. Burns, the Canadian, the world champion. Big opening round. It was an untidy sort of second round, and now Burns is going back to his boxing skills, trying to get in and out and work behind that left jab, and again there was holding from Moya. It's an untidy fight. Good right hand though from Moya. Burns has a good chin though. Moya got his chance by knocking out Tiger Smith in a British title fight. National Sporting Club prepared to put up the purse money as a result of that one. Burns, you can see all the time, is trying to tee Moya up for the big right hand, the big right hook. And now it's Burns who holds on. Again, Moya dragging Burns down behind the head. Left hand going round, and he's trying to pull him into the right hand. Uppercut from Moya. And a good right hand, and Burns certainly felt that one. It's been a better round this for the challenger. Certainly his best of the fight so far. I suppose you could say in Gunnar Moya's defence that with Burns being so low and boring in behind his head, difficult really to avoid getting into some sort of clash of heads or indeed fouling. And again you see him holding around the back of the head, and he's unloading big right hands as he does so. People at ringside maybe don't like to see it, but Burns is in a little bit of trouble here in the third round. Well, oh, and back comes Burns, right over the top, and Moya's down. He's down in the third, and is he going to be saved by the bell? They're in the closing seconds, and he is. Well, Tommy Burns smiles to his corner again. Just when Gunnar Moya was having by far his best round, Burns puts him on the canvas. Now into the fourth. And surely Tommy Burns must sense that he can take his man out here, and once again he's straight onto the aggressive. And it doesn't really look as though Gunnar Moya has got the artillery necessary to carry this challenge to the champion. Burns again over the top with the right hand, and he's looking for the knockout, no question about it. A little bit of inexperience there in the third round for Moya. He was right back into it. Good right hand though again from Moya there. He was right back into it in the third, and then just stood there waiting for Burns to come at him, which the champion duly did, and he paid the price. Too often you get the impression that Moyer is waiting for Burns to come in and then trying to counter. Good right hand though, and again. If only he had had the confidence to continue to do that. Again now Moyer, as Burns leans on, he just pulls him down with that left hand and tries to unleash the right hook. But Burns has every appearance of being able to just walk straight through it. Moyer picking up the points, scoring shots, and a good right hand from Moyer. And a right into the body, as Burns just tries to get in close, head into the chest, and takes another good right hand from Moyer. Burns trying to get in close to unleash those hooks, and this is good work from the challenger once again. Now he doesn't want to get overconfident, but this is the best work that Moyer's done again for some time. Burns, realising the danger, unleashes a sweet little right counter of his own. Good action in the fourth round. Again though, you see Moyer holding on, dragging Burns down. Good body shot though from Moyer. And then wants to clinch again in close and try and pull Burns' head down onto his right uppercuts. Referee again is ticking Moyer off for that. But the head of Burns as well is going thudding into his face. You just wonder, the further this fight goes, whether or not cuts might be an issue. And there's the bell to end the fourth round. Tommy Burns firmly in control. Round 5. Burns forcing the fight, had his man down in the third. Already clearly in control. Burns fighting out that distinctive crouching stance. Took a right hand from Moyer, who again then gets in close and holds him round the back of the head and lands with a right hook. Two more good right hands from Burns. He's had his moments in this fight, but hasn't been able to maintain a consistent attack. Good right hand from Burns. This time though Moyer takes it. It's been the right hook which has really troubled the challenger. Great interest of course around Britain in this contest. A lot of clinching. James Moyer, who used to be a professional wrestler, maybe he learnt a little bit there. Burns up onto his toes again, trying to use his mobility, getting in and out and working behind that shorter lead, trying to negate the taller man's advantages. Good right hand once more from Burns, and Moyer's in trouble. It was a short chopping right hand. Moyer's face beginning to mark up a little now, visibly. Bruising around the left eye. More holding inside. Really has been a very untidy fight, this one. Signs that Gunnar Moyer visibly tiring in this round. Greater accuracy coming from Burns, and that's another round surely to the champion. So into the sixth. Tommy Burns from Canada on the left hand side of your picture, firmly in control. Looking very, very confident is Burns. Content to use his superior boxing skills now. He knows already he's got the power, and look at the mess around that left eye of Gunnar Moya. Bruising around there. Blood as well on his face. And Burns, seeing that, is just trying to pick him off with the jab and just rack up the points. Truth be told, Gunnar Moya from the word go has been outboxed here. A couple of jabs through from Moya, but there's a bit of a slappy look about his work now. What snap there was seems to have just about gone from his punches. Right over the top again from Moya, but no great power in there, and Burns was able to take it almost with contemptuous ease, turn his man, and then once again try to spear that damaged left eye with his left lead. Moya needs a big shot here. Burns is going to have to get careless if Moya's going to get back into it. Right body shot, but the left hook which followed up really was no more than a token effort. Burns winning this round clearly, and a big right over the top. Moya's a strong man, no doubt about that. Again, trying to pull Burns in close. Right from Moya, looks suspiciously low. No damage done though. And a big attack again from Burns in the closing stages of this round. And that's another very, very clear round to the champion, and James Moya is starting to look a rather disconsolate fighter. 7th round, Moya very slow to come off his stool. Even in the clinches now, Burns is clearly doing the better work. 2 good fast hooks from the champion, and Moya made to miss with his lunging follow-up. A predictability now about this fight. Moya looking pretty negative, almost as though he's now just bent on survival in there. And for Burns, it's turning out to be rather a case of another day at the office. Another good payday, and totally in command. Left to the body, followed by the left hook from Burns, and then Moya able to do no more than hold on. Pattern of these rounds has tended to be that Burns has just picked off Moya in the opening periods and then launched the big attack in the closing stages. Well, are we going to see that again here in round 7? See, there's just nothing coming back from Moya now. Wild, swinging, haymaking right hand, but Burns, needless to say, saw it coming a mile off. Gunnar Moya on the left-hand side of your picture, just moving around with that white band, that white banding hanging down the back of his trunks. He's just soaking it up now. Burns, I'm sure, will be looking to try and tee him up for that big onslaught. Moya 15 pounds the heavier man at 192, but you wouldn't think so watching now. There again you see Burns just bully the man backwards. Moya with precious little idea, just waiting for Burns to come at him, and Burns recognises the fact and just stands up and say, hey, come on, this is supposed to be a fight. And then here come two right hands from Burns, right on the bell, and once again a clear round to the champion. Tommy Burns so far ahead now that Moya is going to have to knock him out. No question about that. And because of the holding, the referee is into the ring. Maybe as well because of the one-sided nature of this fight. Possibly not too far to go. And exhibition stuff from Burns. He's up onto his toes. And Moya is throwing absolutely nothing back. I suppose if you were to be hypercritical of Burns, this would underline the fact that he's not a big puncher. Referee's had enough of the clinches, and rightly so, I think, because the crowd have paid to see action here, and too much of this fight has been in mauling, and you have to say that the culprit has been Gunnar Moya, the challenger. Moya's face a terrible mess once again. Blooded now on both sides. Certainly not an occasion for the squeamish. Burns is just showboating now, picking him off, winning this fight more or less as he pleases. Moya is bravely still in there, still on his feet, still trying to box. And there goes the head of Burns once again into Moya's face, and the referee rightly steps in. Moya clinching around the back of the head, the referee tells him off. Good right hand from Burns. Well, this might be the last throw of a desperate man now, as Moya throws a big right uppercut. He'll be only too painfully aware of the damage to his face. And again, he bravely wades forward. He has been outclassed here, but he's still trying to carry the fight to Burns. And it was more of the same. Moya now goes back to his corner, looking very much a man heading for defeat. Into the 9th round. Tommy Burns defending his title in London. And way ahead. Starting to look only a matter of time. Moya again getting away with holding on round the back of the head, and the referee really should step in, and does so. Burns just looking for the opening for that big right hand. This time Moya able to tie him up. A lot of people suggested that Moya really shouldn't have had this opportunity for the world title. Only 15 pro fights before this, 12 of them victory. It's a huge step up in class. And Burns is looking to take him out. Trying to plant himself, trying to get leverage for the big right. It's been a systematic and ruthless beating. that Moyer has had to endure. Well, you have to ask, how much more of this can he stand? Token shots coming back from Moyer, and Burns, when he does decide to open up, almost getting through at will. It's been a safety first sort of approach from Burns. He's not risked anything, had his man down early on, and thereafter he's just racked up the points. Clumsy left lead from Moyer. Burns again showboating with the fancy footwork. Good right over the top, and another one. Moyer takes them, but he's starting to look a little bit unsteady on his feet, and a big uppercut as well from Burns. Moyer is just bent on survival now. Burns taunting him almost, smiling at the blooded mask in front of him, which is Moyer's face. Feints to throw the right hand, then leads with the left. Moyer utterly outclassed. Just his strength and determination keeping him going in there. Tired, so tired, coming forward still, and just being nailed by punch after punch. Two lefts right on the bell, and that was as one-sided a round as you will ever see. Tenth round. Seconds a little bit slow to get out of the ring. Moyer on the left-hand side of the picture. They've cleaned up his face a little bit, but for how long? And there again now, the blood starting to seep from his injured right eye. Only a matter of time. Tommy Burns, the heavyweight champion of the world, looking now as though he's going to take his title once again onto another platform. Moyer almost turned away then when that right hand came in. I don't think he really has too much stomach for a great deal more of this. Burns just bullying him around the ring. Moyer on unsteady legs. Comes forward with a right though, the challenger, into the body. But it was an ineffectual sort of effort. Burns trying to tee him off with the right hand, and here comes a big attack. Oh, right over the top, followed by a left hook. And is Moyer going to be able to get up from that? It was the right hand once again which did the damage. There was a left hand in there, and Moyer somehow bravely gets to his feet. And now Tommy Burns senses that the end could be near. Here in the 10th round, the Canadian is trying to end this one. Moyer, somehow is keeping him upright. He's surviving now on pure instinct. And another big right hand from Burns. Moyer's on rubbery legs, and Burns is unleashing another savage attack. Oh, and down goes Moyer again. Sheer exhaustion puts him down. Well, is he going to be able to get up? Surely not, because he's taken a fearsome pounding, and the referee's waving Burns in again. And Moyer has got to go down again. Surely this fight has got to be over any second. Burns reins in another big right hand, and Moyer's down once again. He doesn't know where he is, and the cornermen have got in. They want it all over. They've stopped it. They've said enough. And Gunnar Moyer's brave challenge is over. and Tommy Burns is still the heavyweight champion of the world. Maybe the big test against Jack Johnson will come sometime in the future. For the time being, though, this Canadian, only 5'7", but such a good boxer, has outclassed the brave James Gunnar Moyer. He goes over to console him, but Tommy Burns is still champion of the world. Moyer was trying to become the first British heavyweight champion of the new century, but there was only going to be one winner here, and that was the man making his way back to his own corner, the Canadian Tommy Burns.
Burns comes out of retirement to challenge Joe Beckett for the Empire Heavyweight Championship. London, 16th of July, 1920.
Joe Beckett, taller man, on the left-hand side of your picture now, from the Fairground family. Fought in boxing booths, won the British title by knockout from Bombardier Billy Wells. And Tommy Burns coming back now at the age of 39, his first fight in 6 years, and great interest across the country in this one. Burns, who was such a wonderful champion in his day, held the title between 1906 and 1908 before losing to Jack Johnson, and here, incredibly, fighting in 1920 at the age of 39, and of course, at the Albert Hall, it is a complete sellout. Burns, who promoted this event himself, straight away onto the aggressive, and there is a feeling that if he is going to be successful in this challenge, well, he's got to do it in the early stages, because surely the further the fight goes, the more the stamina of the younger man is going to be a telling factor. Beckett, 28 years old, 11 years Burns junior. Burns still with some of the old moves, always was quick on his feet, and here you see in the opening period he's producing an elusive sort of target. But the question is, does the old boy still have the firepower? Beckett 3 inches taller at 5'10". Burns weighing in a little bit heavier than he did in his glory years. And now into the second. Not too much between them in the opening round. Maybe Burns did enough to shade it. There's a lot of fancy footwork, but not a great deal of punches coming from the Canadian. Good left jab from Beckett. Beckett really came up in boxing the hard way. Father died when he was a boy, and his mother then ran the Fairground booth, and her sons were put in there to earn the money for the family, and one of them was Joe Beckett, now champion. Tommy Burns a little bit fleshy around the middle. Oh, takes a good smart left hook from Beckett, and Burns felt that one. He was trying to unload with body shots of his own, but the better punch, the quality punch, was that left hook from Beckett. Uppercut inside from Burns, who's now trying to rough up the younger man. Right over the top from Burns, but Beckett just turned away smartly and just parried it with the shoulder as it came in. So into the third round. Tommy Burns, the former champion, with his back to us. Still working smartly behind his left jab. But you get the impression that he's not been able to impose his authority on this fight so far. Beckett hasn't really been backed up. Burns working inside quite effectively, but Beckett not really troubled by that. Not a great thing of beauty in the ring, Joe Beckett, you have to say that. Sort of lurching style. Now into the fourth. Burns ahead at this stage. Bouncing around the ring. Still, but Beckett just measuring him. Again, lunges across the ring, gets through with a couple of body shots. Famous old auditorium, absolutely packed. Spring starting to go out of Burns' legs now. He's no longer quite the elusive target he was in the first 3 rounds. And Beckett will have noted that. And spears the Canadian with a left jab, and another one. Burns visibly tiring. 2 more good solid left jabs from Beckett. So into the 5th round. And if Tommy Burns thought he was going to be able to just outbox Joe Beckett, provide him with a lesson and work his way around that, well, I'm afraid to say that he was mistaken. We're now into the 5th round and Burns is starting to realise he's in a real fight. Burns' balding head bearing witness to the passage of the years, now 39 years old, and he's starting to look a tired man in there. Big attack from Beckett, good uppercut in there, solid right hand and another one, and Burns is wanting to hold on and buy time now. Big attack from Beckett, his best of the fight so far, and a crunching right into the body as well. And these are anxious times for Tommy Burns, and he's looking every year of his 39. Beckett will have taken tremendous heart from that. Burns is bravely trying to fire back, but he's starting to look now like a shell of the fighter he once was. Beckett himself, who suffered a crushing loss against Georges Carpentier, looking to rebuild his career. And for Burns, well, it may very well be that this is turning out to be a final throw of the dice. Good right hand though from the Canadian. Crunched into the rib cage of Beckett. Into the 6th round. Burns' face is starting to mark up here. I think as much as anything that's because of the left jab which Beckett's been able to spear him with over the last couple of rounds. And Burns doing nothing inside. You can see he's doing no more than just lean on his corner, imploring him to come forward and carry the fight to Beckett, but it doesn't look as though there's a great deal left now. Somehow he's got to try and find something from the glory years. He's got to try and dig deep into his past. Beckett again coming over the top with the right hand. And Burns looking very tired as he goes back to his corner. Into the 7th round. Burns now has got to try and find some sort of big attack. Truth be told, there was never any real power in Tommy Burns' work tonight. He looked quick and nimble for the first 2 or 3 rounds, but then it started to become one-way traffic. And are we seeing the last fight of the former heavyweight champion Tommy Burns? Good left lead again from Beckett. Not a pretty punch, but it was effective, and Burns had to hold on once again. Left and right into the head of the old champion, and 2 more right uppercuts and a left hook. Burns is still bravely coming forward, but he's starting to soak it up now. Well, the man who mixed it with the very best is now starting to look like a beaten man. Beckett looking for the big shots, 2 uppercuts again, hammer through into the jaw of Burns, and the right hook, and Burns is down. It was a left-right, Burns up onto one knee. Is he going to be able to beat the count? Well, he's up again, but he's in real danger now. Beckett is now looking to take him out, looking to end this fight, and Tommy Burns, the proud old champion, who's packed them in tonight at the Royal Albert Hall, is just a punch or two now away from defeat, surely. Right over the top again from Burns, but Beckett has taken him with a left and he just falls to the canvas through sheer exhaustion. Well, he can't take much more here. And the towels come in, and Tommy Burns, like so many old fighters before him, has found that he too is unable to cheat time, and Tommy Burns may well now be at the end of his long and distinguished career. Joe Beckett has emerged victorious. Beckett goes across to commiserate with Burns, and Burns' face, bruised and battered, tells its own painful story.